Welcome to our podcast. I'm Jess.
I'm Mandy.
And we are drama bonded. And today I bring you rage.
You guys, a lot of rage.
So much rage. It took me watching Vanderpump Rules in two different parts because I felt too invested. And I was like, you know what? I don't need to be this angry over this. I'm going to go do something that brings me joy.
At least you made rage into a song.
Yeah. I'm inspired. You're always singing. I'm like, I should try and belt some things out. Even though I have zero musical talent awareness, I'm probably tone deaf. It's fine.
Jess started watching the episode before me, and she was messaging me and being like, oh God, you're going to be so mad.
Well, I finally got to use the Dennis rage meme that I've always wanted to, just because that scene is always so funny to me, how angry he is. And I kind of felt like that. I was like, whoa.
Yeah. And then
righteous fury.
And then you had to pause. And then I started and I was like, woof, I get it now.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like The Bachelor was better. Not as rageful.
It wasn't as rageful. I actually do have some beef with The Bachelor, but I'll talk about that when we get to it.
Okay, cool. Well, let's start with our candy review.
Candy reviews with Mandy and Jess.
Jess bought one of my favorite dark chocolate bars by a company called Wow.
We looked it up.
And it's a dark chocolate bar with honeycomb pieces in it.
Yeah. And I am not overly a chocolate person, but what I love about this particularly is the honeycomb adds this crispy, crunchy sweetness to it. It's like a crunch bar, but better because it's not puffed rice. It's crispy honeycomb. It's so good, you guys. If you are a chocolate person or have a chocolate lover in your life, go buy this bar for them.
Yeah.
You get it in the specialty chocolate section where they sell all the fancy chocolates in a grocery store.
Elevated crunch bar. I like that.
Right? Yeah. And I think for me, that's what works is I'm a big texture person and that texture is just unreal.
Yeah.
But also the nice thing about it is a few pieces of it, I'm good. Unlike all the other candy that we eat where I'm like, if I sit down, I will just finish it. This I can pace out for a few days and really just enjoy it. And
That's fair.
I don't feel like I get to really enjoy candy like that very often. And this is one of those that I can. So bonus points for that too.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, let's do it.
Here we go.
Vanderpump Rules, which might as well be called the Tom Sandoval show.
Yeah.
At this point. Am I right?
They should just change it.
Yeah. Lisa should just blow him, make a sex video.
Everybody loves Tom.
Everybody loves Tom. God. Fuck that guy.
His podcast name was foreshadowing of what was going to happen on the show.
Ew. It's true. It's true. And of course that's his podcast's name. I forgot that. I blacked it out. I forget that he has a podcast.
I will admit when he first came out with it, I thought it was so ironic and funny that from a designer who does a lot of branding, I was like, I respect it.
Okay.
It's very much like making fun of himself because he came out with that when everyone hated him.
Right.
So I thought it was a funny commentary on the reality of the situation.
That's a good point. I don't think it's aged well.
No, and it's not good. So don't listen to it.
Okay, thank you. We're not endorsing that podcast. The anti-endorsement. Don't listen.
Sometimes I listen to it when there are certain guests or key things being discussed, but everyone is mic'd differently. Nobody is the same volume on the podcast. Schwartz is there, but it sounds like he's 2 rooms away for some reason.
What?
It's very infuriating.
Come on, guys. Have good sound on your podcast. It's a low bar. Okay. So, Scheana talking to Lisa.
Yeah. Okay, can I first say, I don't know if it's this scene, but the first thing in my notes in my phone is Lisa's massive anal bead pearl necklace.
Yes.
That necklace was terrible.
Lisa does not have fashion that I would ever wear. I'm not her age, so maybe when I get there, but she is of a different generation. Also, who am I kidding? I can't afford it, but also.
I just was so distracted by the size of the pearls.
I want more dog content. Donut is very cute. But I'm also struck, none of my dogs have ever been that chill. I hope she's not, I don't know. How does she get her dogs to be that calm? Donut's just sitting on the counter chilling.
Well, her smallest dogs, I think, are basically just conditioned to be lap dogs.
Whoa. Hmm. You just teach your dog to do that?
Well, I think when you just carry around your dog all day, eventually it's just like, oh, this is what we do. We
Okay.
just chill.
I
I'm
hope.
not sure. Don't quote me on it.
Okay, yeah. I don't wanna get into that too much, but also I'm intrigued. Anyway. Scheana
So,
complaining to Lisa.
yeah, so she really brought up the Dancing with the Stars thing, which was super cringe. Like she had been training for it
Ugh.
just
Yeah.
in case it happened.
Yeah. Like, Scheana, you punched somebody and got a restraining order. I don't know how you thought you were gonna be the one to get on Dancing with the Stars this season, but, what do I know? I don't know the politics of Dancing with the Stars, but
Maybe just because Vanderpump Rules was kind of blowing up, and they usually try to take people from like relevant content.
oh, sweet, sweet
I don't
Scheana.
know. But and then when she called back to Ariana being a good backup dancer, dude,
The quip.
what?
I know, that was just like the cherry on top of everything. And then the thing that really, really, really got me was her being like, I have been Ariana's ride or die. When is it enough?
Oh my gosh.
Scheana, ride or die
It's never enough. It goes on forever.
till death.
That's what it means.
Ride or die.
But also, like the flashback of Ariana backup dancing for her, it does show you how long they've been friends. Because I'm pretty sure that clip was from season 1. So that was probably the first time we ever even saw Ariana on the show. We didn't
Yeah.
even know who she was.
Right. She was just there.
Supporting Scheana, being a good friend.
Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious that Scheana was never going to have a lucrative music career.
Yeah.
And yeah, Ariana was like, sure, I'll get up on stage with you in this absurd tutu outfit and gyrate around stage so that you look like Britney Spears. I mean, excuse me, Avril Lavigne.
No, Nelly Furtado, or what was the.
Fergie?
I don't know. She was like, I didn't want to be Britney. I wanted to be like Fergie with my boys.
Yeah, she wanted to be emo.
Yeah. But Fergie's not emo either. I'm confused.
I still can't remember who she said. Scheana, to be honest, is just somebody that I sort of take in and it's in one ear out the other so that my brain doesn't melt trying to break down too much of it. And that's also why I hated this episode because it was just Scheana, 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 Scheana. Ooh, I hated that. Not a fan. And it didn't get better.
No. And Lisa didn't offer any good advice. In fact, I think she gave Scheana the opposite of good advice.
Well, yeah, she tells Scheana she's got to start. What does she say exactly to Scheana about like Scheana needs to like be like her own person and stand up for herself and like say how she's feeling. And Sheena's like, oh, well, it's the story of my life. I just don't. It's like, oh, Scheana, then this is a you problem, not an Ariana problem.
I think when she said story of my life, my eyes rolled so far back that they actually came out my butt.
Whoa, did you just put them back?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, just like that. Dude, yeah, I could not. And then Lisa was like,
I wouldn't do that.
yeah, Scheana is so cringy. And I don't know. I hate this. I hate that the tone of the episode is how dare Ariana get an opportunity that Scheana wanted. And that somehow because Scheana has chosen to live her life as a doormat, suddenly now it's Ariana's fault, not anybody else's fault up to this point.
And Ariana's completely over everything. So Sheena's having a harder time than Ariana.
Much harder time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Ariana's just making millions of dollars. She's totally fine. And it's really,
I kind of did want to ask you, like, do you think that there is an amount of money that would make losing a relationship like that not so bad?
I mean, I'm sure whatever she's making from these brand deals is definitely softening the blow.
Yeah, I do. I mean, we live in a capitalist society, right? Like, if you have money and aren't having to stress about that, that does take a load off. It does give you more time to process stuff otherwise.
Make a more exciting next step.
Yeah, do things that otherwise you wouldn't have had the financial resources to do.
Yeah, if you want to leave town, you have more means to travel.
Yes, but at the same time.
No, here's the thing. That's like a surface level Band-Aid.
Yeah.
So the money, the busyness, the deals, the self-promotion, like all of that is awesome, and I think she's smart to take advantage of it. But that is like a Band-Aid on a really massive, gaping open wound. And the thing is like the wound just needs time to be in a better, healthier place in general. The Band-Aid can like keep the wound from being, you know, dumped on and somewhat protected, but it's still like
Yeah,
festering and not okay.
and even if she can move past the fact, like, if she's not sad about losing Tom because of the piece of shit that he is, I would imagine that still to to know in your heart that somebody of 9 or 10 years could do that for you to you would take time to heal from. And, like, that regardless of how she feels about Tom anymore, that inability to trust is going to take a long time to recover from.
Yeah, and also the things that you're learning about yourself in that process, like, it's really hard not to ask yourself questions like, "What did I do wrong? What could I have done differently in this relationship?" Even though that's not on you, it's on the 2 of you together. But
Yeah.
I still think that it's hard not to have those really dark introspective moments of, like, where did I mess up? What could I have done better? Like, it's not just about, fuck Tom. It's also like there's a lot of personal pain that you have to kind of navigate through as well.
Yeah. That's all a really good point. Yeah, thanks for talking that out with me. I was just curious. Uh, so we move on. Lala and Lisa talking. I don't know.
Lala is looking for a sperm donor.
Right.
I will
Yeah.
say, like, her breaking down about having to, like, share her child on Christmas, like, I feel like as angry as I am towards Lala on this episode, it's obvious that Lala's going through her own stuff that we don't get to see a lot of.
Yeah. And especially because we're not able to see Ocean.
Yeah.
I'm sure she has to be really tight lipped about Randall because there's a lot of legal proceedings
Yeah.
on that. So she's just not in a place to receive a lot of public sympathy because Randall is still, unfortunately, the person with the power and the ability to
Yeah.
cause her a lot of problems. So she's having to keep mum on that.
So I feel like because of that, Lala has all of a sudden become, like, Team Scheana, and she's like, "I'll just, like, push Sheena's storyline along in my Lala way."
Yes. I guess that's probably a good
Like,
time to bring this point up that you brought up just before we started the podcast.
oh, yeah. Well, just really quick, it's interesting that she was like, "I feel like I'm always a dog in someone else's fight," but I feel like she's kind of doing that for Scheana.
She is doing that for Scheana. And in part, it seems like, and this isn't mine or Mandy's theory, but we've both heard this differently from different sources that, like, maybe Scheana and Lala are really more receptive to receiving Tom back for the sake of the show. And that's why this feels just so in our faces, over the top. Like, what are we even doing? Because none of this makes any sense. Um,
Which I still have questions around that of, like, why can't it be Ariana over Tom? But I think with Lisa Vanderpump being an executive producer, the business ties there, the way that Tom orients his life for the show, I think that for production and Bravo, Tom is a safer financial bet.
yeah, I would agree with that. Um, then we see Lala talking to Ariana, which just, man,
Yeah, so that she talks about the experience in Tahoe and how Sheena was really struggling, and I feel like at one time she was like, "Yeah, but she lost one of her best friends," and Ariana, like, side-eyes her and says, "Yeah, so did I. I actually lost 2 of them."
yeah, because she's not friends anymore with Schwartz or Sandoval.
But it's crazy to me that Lala can just casually say that to Ariana.
Yeah, as though, well, and then in that same sentence, be like, well, what's supposed to happen? Something's got to give. Basically, insinuating that Ariana's got to give on her boundaries and that's what's got to give. And it's like, well, or everybody could just say, fuck Tom Sandoval because this guy has been horrible to everybody consistently for the last decade. We have video footage of it. What are we doing? Yeah, ice Tom out and everybody move along.
What did you think about the photo drama?
I really hate how rabid people can be online.
Yeah, I felt like that was so blown up.
Yeah, I'm sorry. These people this is their career. Regardless of what you think of it, they were being kind to a fan who was excited to have their photo taken with the cast. I don't know.
We want them to film together because they're on the show.
Yeah, that makes a better show
So you're
for
willing
us.
to watch them on TV, but you don't want to see Scheana fucking take a picture with Tom Sandoval? I don't really understand.
I don't either. So, like, my heart definitely went out to Scheana for that. Like, that sucks to get so much bombardment for that kind of thing. And I also understand that when people have a villain, they're really, like they go hard. But also, Scheana, take a step back, girlfriend. It's fine. There is that part of the internet, but then, Lala, I think, was giving Scheana some shit in the last episode or the one before. It was like, why are you scrolling for it?
Well, because she gave her shit for looking at her mentions on Twitter. So she is actively looking at tweets that mention her.
Yeah, and I wish that the internet wasn't the cruel place that it is. Like, that is the better option, is to not have the internet be a dickhole. But then the flip side of it is. So don't subject yourself to things that you know are going to make you feel bad. Just don't look. Scheana, what are we doing? So it also was kind of like, I understand where Lala was coming from to say, like, hey, Ariana, you could like throw Scheana a bone on this. But then I also really respect Ariana's standpoint of like, I just want to stay out of it. She
I don't
really
want
has
another headline.
She's tried so hard to lay low. Like, it just the most primal level, like how embarrassing and hard it must have been for that to have been brought, like that being Scandoval broadcast. I'm sure, like, I understand also not wanting to be part of it and just be like, nope.
Yeah, I just thought it was messy, and I just felt like that little storyline took up more time than I needed it to. I guess it was nice of Ariana to step in and do that, but then when Scheana was complaining, like, it would have been nice if it was her idea. Like,
It's
oh
never
my
enough.
God.
They're not. They basically just need, what they want is for Ariana to abandon all boundaries and just get over herself and be fine so that everybody can hang out again and Lala and Scheana have an income consistently or whatever it may be. I don't know.
I don't know if it was on the show or the after show, but Katie's response to this whole mess was, no, I always pay attention to where Tom Sandoval is, and yes, I would know if I'm being photographed next to him. Katie's was just like, she had no patience for Sheena's bullshit. She was like, Scheana should do better. Scheana should be smarter. Like, don't get caught in that picture with him.
You know what? And I do feel like as friends, they get to have that stance.
Yeah, I don't think we do, but Katie's navigating the same thing that Scheana is.
Yeah.
They have different relationships with Sandoval, but still, you understand what's happening in the media. So act accordingly.
Exactly. So I respect that take from Katie. Katie really brought it this episode.
Yeah.
She was cracking me up.
Queen Katie. All hail.
Yes. Second, well, I don't know. I guess Queen Katie and Ariana of the season.
Well, maybe Ariana's like Empress and then Katie's Queen.
There we go.
Yeah.
I like it.
Okay.
Yeah. I was just I don't know, that whole scene with Lala, and it doesn't get any better from there, really, I guess. In this episode, I don't normally feel like we have to like break each scene down, but every scene was really awkward and there was stuff going on. So
yeah, so let's move on to the awkward scene with Joe and James and Tom and Allie.
what was that?
So I guess they were all just meeting up at Sir.
Well, it looked like a see you next Tuesday. James was DJing.
Okay.
Or maybe not. James might just DJ other random nights at Sir as well. And
I don't know.
Joe, who is sleeping with Schwartz.
So Joe moved in with Schwartz right after Schwartz moved out of the house.
Yes. Joe was previously friends with Kristen Doty.
Like really good friends.
And then as soon as she moved in with Schwartz, like stopped being friends with Kristen, like blocked her on social media, stopped having communication with her.
Which is weird.
Very weird.
So we've heard things about Joe, but we've never really seen her on the show. Well, there was like a glimpse of her earlier on the season. But this is our first like full Joe scene.
Yeah.
I feel like it's obvious why her and Schwartz are friends. Like she matches his level of weirdness.
Yeah, they're just two goons.
Yeah.
They are funny. Like they do have actually very good chemistry. I'm a little bummed that Schwartz isn't more into this because they're both weirdos and it's great.
Well, the conversation that they had by themselves, she said, "You said you needed like 1 to 3 years, so like 43, right?" And he said, I'll compromise with 47." And I was like, "Wait, are you talking about like when he'd be ready to be in a relationship with her?"
That's what it sounded like to me. And listen, if any guy is giving you that kind of timeline for a relationship, not a marriage, not some sort of like commitment outside of like committed to each
Run.
other, yeah, get out of here.
Run.
He's
Move
lying
out.
to you.
You should not be living
He
with him.
does not have enough of a spine to just say he's not that into you.
And when he says you're his casual friend, but he fucked you a month ago.
And then denies
and
fucking you a month
denies
ago.
Fucking you a month ago. Leave.
Get out of here. And that makes me sad to see. We've all been that person that's way more into somebody that's into us and just like trying to ignore the signs. Don't ignore the signs.
Yeah.
Trust people about what they're showing you. If they don't like you, they don't like you. So that if she didn't know, she does now because that episode has aired. So
Oh, yeah,
she was
and-
able to see that ITM.
Schwartz in his ITM was like, "I really hope I don't make her mad because I said that." He knows.
He does.
He knows.
God, he's so spineless. It makes me mad. But anyway, aside from that,
So in that same scene, Tom Sandoval shows up and gives James some
Designer
fancy sunglasses, which I guess ended up getting stolen that night.
that's fine. That kind of sucks. I don't know. James was like going off about the gifts that Tom Sandoval had given him and how he's never lost any of them. I guess then he lost
Now
those.
he lost the sunglasses.
It's an omen. And in Allie's ITM, which I loved, let's listen to Allie.
Yes.
Allie is, for her age, I mean, I am here for her.
I love
She
her.
is so smart. She's like, I feel like Tom Sandoval is trying to buy his way back into James's life. And I hope it doesn't work.
1000%.
Well, and I think it couples so perfectly with the way that he gave like Scheana all of that money that Tom, or then buying James and Rachel the engagement. Like, this is what Tom does because it is a way for Tom to not have to emotionally show up for people or be available, but still has deniability about being the scumbag that he is.
On the after show, Lala and Scheana talk about how Tom didn't buy them gifts, but he bought their children gifts. And Lala was like, "That's worse. That's way more access into my heart than if you just gave a gift to me. Like, you show up with giant blocks for my kid and she loves them." Like,
Yeah, exactly.
so smart.
And you know what? Tom might be sincere in that, but it also doesn't erase everything. And just because somebody has money to buy gifts and does not take away from them not showing up for people in ways that people should show up for other humans. Money is not the end all be all. So get out of here. Ugh, I hated that. And I hope that Allie just continues to be a little voice in James's ear.
She is so goddamn refreshing in this season. Like, thank God for Allie.
Yeah, every ITM, I'm like, well, she's a sharp one.
Yeah, I love how she's just kind of quiet and pleasant, but then her ITM, she just drops like mad wisdom.
Constantly. Yeah, and she's yeah.
She's very aware.
She is, and I don't feel like she's being two-faced around anybody else either because she does sit there quietly. She is pleasant to be around. She is agreeable, but then when asked, she will give an opinion.
Yeah, she'll drop some truth.
Hell yeah. I don't know. It was just, I hate seeing Tom getting integrated back in so effortlessly.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that integration works going forward. Because it looks like they're going to start having scenes with both Ariana and Tom, and I wonder how that dynamic is going to play with some of the relationships that have been like somewhat repaired.
Yeah.
You know, if everyone's in a room together, are people going to be as nice to Sandoval in front of Ariana? That's interesting.
Yeah. We'll see. The mid-season trailer was juicy. If you are watching and haven't watched that trailer,
I know the season trailer was juicy too, though, and here we are on episode 7, and what the fuck has even happened?
that's a very good point.
I'm just worried. I'm like, did they just pull out the very highlightiest highlights and nothing still happens? Did they already just show us everything? And I don't know. I'm trying not to be excited because so far I feel really disappointed.
That's fair. Yeah.
And honestly, in their defense, I don't really know how this season could work differently.
Yeah, I don't either, especially with their insistence on Tom, I guess, for lack of a better term. Like, they're not going to get rid of him. As we've pointed out time and time again, he's too valuable to the show, I guess.
Yeah.
And so, this is just what it is. I guess kind of a darker side of reality TV. You can be an awful person and you're what the people want.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
this
I think that this is what the show wants. I don't think the audience really wants
I
what's
actually
happening.
right, I know, and that's actually a very good point. I think generally the audience isn't super loving that, but the showrunners do. So
Yeah.
that's the people. Uh, anything else about that awkward sir interaction?
No, I think we got to get into the girls hanging out.
That's where I quit. I was like, nope, I'm gonna flip a table.
So we have Scheana, Lala, Katie, and Christina Kelly who get together for drinks. I just want to say shout out to Katie for ordering espresso martini with tequila because I fucking love that. And I loved seeing someone do it on television because every time I order that with a tequila, I swear I get hate. Or like, what? Or that's not a martini.
That's lame.
Yeah.
I'm all for interesting flavor combinations.
Just to clarify, the drink style is martini, but you can make it with other alcohol.
Sure. Yeah, good catch. Wow. Christina Kelly asks about the Sandoval of it all.
Yeah.
And Scheana has the audacity. Christina Kelly wants to know what's going on, the Sandoval of it all. And Scheana tells them about Tahoe and how, that was the thing in Lisa's conversation we didn't talk about, is that Sheena's grieving.
Oh, right.
Sheena's grieving. Ariana is not.
Yeah, Ariana's over it.
4 months. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. We're over it. Heartbreak be damned. 4 months. Sheena's still grieving. And Christina Kelly asks something to the effect of, do you think he's more sad to lose his friendship than he was his relationship? And Scheana...
She says, honestly, yes, because he was so unhappy with her for so long.
And then Christina Kelly, being the brilliant woman she is, was like, then why did Ariana stay? And Sheena's like, well, you just never know what's going on. She needed a drink in her face. I'm sorry. Not really, but like that, just that level of delusion is just mind-boggling to me.
She's also like kind of complicit in Tom Sandoval's fucked up narrative about like, this is why I cheated.
Well, yeah, like she's using it now to her own advantage to resituate herself as the ultimate victim.
Yes. What the fuck? Like, are you really competing with Ariana on this level?
And the fact that it's a competition at all. That in Sheena's mind, it is always a hierarchy, always a competition. And I love that Katie was so sick of this shit and then brought up the fact, and I think that this is so true, how awful Tom Sandoval has been to her, that he got in the way of their marriage.
He's never given her a sincere apology.
He has been vile towards Katie. So Sheena's unawareness of that too is just really shocking. And the fact that people are still trying to figure out a way to like bring him back into the fold or justify things is really just, the mental gymnastics is unreal. Unreal.
Which makes me think that maybe it is more so for this show than how they really feel, but it's hard to know.
It is hard to know. Because then I guess in the same breath, at some point, Ariana's like, yeah, Sheena's the way in. And I was like, yeah, Scheana is the way back into the group because she is the biggest pushover.
She's definitely building that bridge, one bullshit line at a time.
Yep. Ugh. That was hard for me to watch. So I tapped out and then picked it back up after that. So anything else about that?
No, but so happy that Katie said her piece and kind of was like, he's not that hard to get over because he's a trash human.
Yeah, he's a demon.
A demon trash human.
So remember, order your espresso martinis with tequila, and Tom Sandoval is a demon.
Let's put that on a shirt.
Done.
Oh, we have to talk about boys' night.
Oh, boys' night.
Side note, I'm not a huge Brock fan, but I will say his little, like, flouncy blouse under his blazer was really attractive.
Yeah. Brock also showed up on the after show for a minute in another interesting outfit. I'm not it was like a mesh shirt with a black tank top over it, all black. His boots were like snakeskin boots with a heel. It There are elements of it that I would have done differently, but
Mhm.
man, do I love a man who is willing to experiment with fashion.
Yeah, same.
Do it, guys. Try the cool things.
Yeah.
You're not bound to button up shirts and slacks and sweaters.
I loved the flouncy blouse.
Me too. Schwartz just straight up looked like a professor.
Yeah, so this is supposed to be like Rat Pack night. I
Y-
didn't really get that from their
No.
outfits.
I feel like Sandoval, James, and Brock really brought their A game though with
Yeah.
their outfit, with their suits or tuxes. Like they were really dressed to the nines, and Schwartz was just like, "Yeah, I've got this brown jacket," and he looks great. I mean, Schwartz doesn't look bad. It just Schwartz's style is not where everybody else's is for
Right.
sure.
So Tom Sandoval drops the bomb that Lisa was talking to Raquel.
Oh
And
yeah,
there's a moment of weirdness where he feels like a little awkward about talking about it in front of James, which I actually enjoyed because I'm like, yeah, you should feel awkward about it.
yeah. Sit with that. James let him off the hook really easy for
Yeah,
that.
he did. But I appreciated the squirminess of it for 1 second.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, what do you think about the whole Lisa and Rachel conversation that they chatted about earlier?
I I don't know, man. I really don't like Lisa right now.
Hmm.
And I kind of hate that she gave Tom anything, but I do at least appreciate that she told Tom he needs to move on.
Yeah,
Like, read the room. She's not talking to you. She blocked
it's
him.
over. She tells
It's
him it's
over.
over.
Yeah. And like, clearly, this is somebody who struggles to understand boundaries or, to pick up what people are putting down.
It's also hard because it benefits Tom so much for him to still be in love with Raquel at this point. Saying,
Yes.
like, for his look on the show, for him to be rejected and heartbroken and blocked and abandoned, this is how Tom, in his own way, makes himself relevant in a less demon-like light.
Yeah, well, and it's the show's way too of putting all of the onus on Rachel, right?
Yeah.
She's not here to defend herself. Tom's heartbroken, has nobody.
But I don't even know. I'm just saying, I don't know if that's true. I don't know if he actually is heartbroken. I don't know
know.
if he is in love with her still.
I don't think he is either. And I really think that this is all Tom is a showman.
Yeah.
Tom knows what he needs to do. Tom pays attention to optics, even if Tom doesn't admit to it. He 1,000% knows what he's doing.
Totally.
And so I at least appreciate Lisa being like, enough is enough, move on. So that's good.
Yeah.
But, mm. And simultaneously with Boys' Night is astrology birth charts.
Yeah. I want Allie to do mine.
Me too. I briefly Googled that and I'm like, I do not have time to go into birth charts right now.
Also, Allie can sing. Her little Taylor Swift moment where she was like, I wanted to be Taylor Swift, but apparently there can only be one of those. So now I do birth charts.
I love that. She's so fun.
She is so fun.
Yeah, I appreciated that. And at some point her quip was, we can all get along if we just understood each other's birth charts.
Yeah, but then didn't you feel like kind of awkward when she was talking about how Ariana's blah is in the 12th house of Jupiter, and that's like the luck one where she is.
Yeah, I was like, this isn't
I
helping
was like,
Ariana's
this is really bad
case.
timing. Because basically it was saying that you will be, like prone to wealth and opportunities and good things will come your way.
And Scheana just sat there seething.
Oh, God. And then Sheena's was something like you need to put yourself before other people.
Yeah, but also a need for partnership.
Oh, yeah.
Dun dun dun. There's like rumblings that her and Brock aren't doing well.
Yeah.
And
And in the preview, she says, I don't know if I see you as my partner for the rest of my life.
Yeah. Right, which is not great for Scheana.
Yeah, but supposedly Brock sold, or I shouldn't say sold, transferred his rights to their house over to Scheana. And that usually happens when either he's declaring bankruptcy or when they're getting divorced.
And you know what? I don't think there's any way to beat around this bush. Either option looks really bad for Brock because he has children over in Australia that he's not paying child support on, and that could easily be a move to eschew any sort of financial responsibility to those kids now that things are going well.
Do we know he's not paying child support though? Because he was paying child support in the last season.
Was he?
Yeah.
Okay, I take it back. That is
Well, the
not
season what season do they get engaged? Season 9?
9.
Yeah, so he basically maxes out his credit card for Sheena's massive pink diamond because he can't afford it outside of paying for child support. So that it has been a part of the show.
Okay. Never mind then. I take it back.
So I'm just saying I don't know if he's paying or not. I do know that this was like questioned on the show.
Okay.
So
I should be careful with my accusations. Anyway, still sketchy. Don't know what they're doing.
totally.
That was pretty wild. Scheana doesn't seem super pumped about hers.
Which one, honestly, as much as I struggle with Scheana this season, I do like Brock for Scheana in a lot of ways. And so if this is all because of like the OCD stuff, I don't know, it could be about a lot of things, right?
Oh, for sure.
But it does make me sad if they don't end up working out.
Yeah. You don't ever want to see somebody have to go through divorce and like struggle through a relationship, and like that's not fun. So
Maybe Scheana will get her moment. She'll get to be queen of the show with her divorce.
Oh, somehow I doubt it.
Was there anything else from the girls' night?
Yeah, Katie's big dick energy.
Oh yeah, because she's only been a man in her past lives.
I kind of love that. Like, good for Katie for just owning that. I think that that's so fun. Lean into that masculine side. That's great.
She does it really well too.
She does.
I'm really loving her short hair moment with her more edgy fashion choices.
Me too.
Yeah.
She is so elevated for me this season. Like, she's come really far. She feels so much more at peace and like genuinely herself than she's been, and I'm always here for that.
I wish she was a little bit more a part of the show because she's so refreshing in comparison to all the Scheana of it all that's being crammed down our throats. But
I think it's probably similarly to the way that it's hard for Ariana to orbit Tom. I think it probably has got to be for Katie too, for all those reasons that she pointed out at the dinner.
right.
On top of the fact that her ex-husband is still just connected at the hip with Tom Sandoval, and how like hurtful that's got to be in some ways. So I kind of get that she's like pulled back and spending more time with Ariana because they're a little more united on that front.
Well, and I think since season 10, Katie and Tom aren't in as much contact with each other. I think they basically drop off the dogs, text each other occasionally, but they aren't really in each other's lives.
And I think that that's good for them because every time it's brought up, it seems like things are good between them. But I'm imagining a lot of that is like from effort, not just sort of like magically things are good.
Boundaries,
which is why it's so important. Like, that was the one bummer thing about this astrology party, birth charts, was Lala still not being able to understand why Ariana has the boundaries she has. And I love, even though Lala is not my favorite person right now, her screaming, disengage. I'm like, I want to be able to yell that at somebody, but I love that Katie's going hard for Ariana.
Thank God someone is.
Yeah, because Ariana, and it kills me that they're like, she has so much hate in her heart. She's really struggling. And it's like, Lala, are you projecting? Because Ariana is pretty fucking chill. She has a hard, firm boundary of she's not going to be friends who are going out of their way to hang out with Tom Sandoval.
And Lala had the same fucking boundary with Randall.
Yeah, she lost it on Schwartz for playing pickleball with him. So like, and then she tries to act like her situation is so different from Ariana's, and it's like, okay, you're right, it is, but at the end of the day, an individual person's boundary is that boundary, and Ariana's not wrong for not wanting to be around her manipulative, cheating ex.
Amen.
What is wrong with that? And I just like blows my mind that we are gonna just, I guess, keep pushing the narrative that Ariana's the bad guy.
Yep.
Hate it.
Mm-hmm.
She's not.
Maybe because we're going to start see Ariana's man friend come into play. Maybe the second half of the season will be a little bit more of a look into like Ariana's life and more Ariana time. I'm hoping for that.
Yeah. Dan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He looks very attractive.
Yeah.
I didn't realize his hair was that long until like in the preview.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Long hair, chiseled abs.
Yeah.
I love that for her.
Good for you.
Yeah.
And then the part where Tom Sandoval says she has good taste in men. All right. Should we move on to The Bachelor?
Yeah. Overnights.
Guys, this week's usually kind of messy. And not necessarily because it involves sex. I don't even know if he slept with any of them. But
If
it's
he was
more
smart, he didn't sleep with all of them,
Yeah.
Clayton.
But also, they didn't really talk about it, which is great. That's how it should be.
Yeah, that is between two consenting adults and not our business.
But it's really usually messy because there's a lot of emotions.
Well, Joey had a lot of emotions.
Yeah, a lot of feelings at play.
I think the thing that struck me most is that Joey left Fantasy Suites feeling like he had it in the bag, like he was the person. And so, like, I was really shocked to hear that he was so confident about that and, like, that into Charity. Like, I know he was, but I mean, that sort of seems like she was the love of his life.
Yeah, the way he talks about it, you definitely get that vibe.
Yeah, I'm just surprised by that. I mean, I can totally see that. Charity is a spitfire, beautiful woman. Like, but that didn't necessarily come across in the show.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, so he basically is talking about how he 100% thought it was him, and in the end, he was rejected, and I think he's still struggling with that experience, and I think it's really impacted his self-esteem and self-worth, and now he's carrying all of that self-doubt into these interactions with these women where he wants so badly to feel chosen, when it's kind of crazy because he's the bachelor and he's doing the choosing.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying that's an interesting, like, bachelors in the past have had insecurities and, little, like, I've never felt loved or, like, I don't know. They all have their own little tragic storyline. But Joey's is interesting with the wanting to be chosen because he gets to choose.
Yeah, he's the one with all the power, and they're here, my guy. Like, they have all expressed some concern about, like, him meeting their families of, like, well, I don't know, because
That's normal.
you're dating other women.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a little weird. I don't know, but do we want to move into the dates?
Yeah.
Okay. You tell me when you've got beef and we can hash that out.
Well, actually, I have beef right now.
Let's do it.
So
Deep beef.
The episode starts with the foreshadowing of the card, and it just says, like, Joey, we need to talk. It shows the handwriting it. I immediately noticed that the fingernails are painted pink. So I was like, hey, I'm just going to look at everyone's hands so I can figure out who writes the invitation, right? Me thinking I'm super smart, playing sleuth. Every girl's fingernails were painted light pink.
And it was written in two different pens and different handwriting if you pause the trailer
I
and
didn't
watch it.
notice
So,
that.
like, you were never going to figure it out. But you know who wrote it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then I'm mad because I feel like if they put that at the start of the episode, that implies that we're going to get to see how that shit plays out. And it ends with the same goddamn thing. Like, now we know, like, who wrote it and stuff, but we didn't get to see that conversation. That should have happened in this episode if they're going to lead with that.
Yeah. Yeah, they could have cut some stuff out.
They're really milking that.
They are. Maybe otherwise it would be a very boring season if we didn't cause poor Joey to spiral.
I mean, I'm sad because it looks like he really spirals.
Oh, he spirals.
Yeah.
He's having a come apart.
Anyways, so we start with Rachel's date, and I guess they're bringing in women from Golden Bachelor to talk to these women. As much as I love the women from Golden Bachelor, I kind of hated this. I didn't really see it, how it was helpful at all.
Well, because we had Leslie, Sandra, and Susan.
We've seen too much of them. I'm kind of over it.
Are you? Okay.
They haven't done this on Fantasy Suites before. Like, why don't we give them an iPad and let them Zoom with a friend or their mom or
that's such a good idea. Like actually
someone,
somebody who knows them and can give good advice, because yeah, it does seem like all of the advice sort of generally was fine, but not really.
No, pieces of it I think were actually
pretty detrimental. We'll get there.
Yeah, there was nice things, and I'm sure, like, woman to woman, that support felt okay, but they've never met these women before. Like, why should I all of a sudden tell you about the ins and outs of my relationship? And I I think that the Leslie thing, as much as I understand where Leslie was coming from, ends up being really problematic.
Yeah, we'll get to
Anyways,
that.
so Rachel is talking to Susan.
Yeah, and recognizes that she needs to open up more.
Yeah, I feel like she's kind of feeling the pressure that she has to catch up.
Yeah, and that's never a good sign. I feel like if you're there and you're in the last 3, you're not it.
Yeah, you're not it. And I think she kind of feels that.
I really think that I mean, I don't know what goes on in the dudes' brains, but women are pretty perceptive about that kind of thing and really have a way like she knows. And I think that's why things are so hard for her is that she doesn't want to like you never want to be the person that's like, "Goodbye, I'm out. I know it's not me." You want to be surprised. And I think Rachel is just sort of holding on almost until the bitter end so that she's sure it's not her, but that just that's hard.
Yeah, because she's feeling really insecure.
Yeah.
And I feel like you kind of feel that energy throughout their whole date.
Yep.
It
It
feels
is
very high stakes, don't you think?
so high stakes and
Pun intended, but
not helped.
sorry, with the jumping platforms, I kind of
Yes.
made a joke in my brain, but
I get it. Very high platforms.
but
I like it.
she's not laughing. Anyways, I do feel like Rachel's energy just comes in and I'm already feeling like, oh,
Yep.
because I feel like she's,
Mhm.
and everything she's saying to Joey, I feel like she's wanting that validation.
Uh,
She's not even seemingly very relaxed to herself.
no. And then
She hurts her jaw.
Mandy, this is like not a new fear unlocked for me, but you can bet your ass I am never jumping off a platform ever because of this. That was wild.
So I'm confused. What did she say? She was looking at the water, or was her mouth open? She said something.
She hit her jaw, and, like, I guess your jaw would hit the water. Okay, here's something that I have learned, and Saul was it's funny that this all comes up. Sometimes I'm like, "What if I'm falling off of some really tall bridge into the water?" And I'm, like, gonna point my toes, gonna point my hands, keep my hands, and just, like, go straight down into the water, and Saul's like, "No, you don't point your toes. You want your feet to break the water first, so you flex your feet." And like, I'm not even kidding. I have been like mulling over this for weeks now, and I was just like, I don't know if that's true. But now, in this very moment, as we're sitting here talking about it, that almost would make sense because if she did something like that, it would be like your chin and your jaw that would almost be the thing to break the water. And
Well,
so I wonder if she like
I,
if
I
she
think her
just
mouth was open, and then, which I don't know why her mouth is open.
because you're screaming,
Maybe that's true. And I think that the water slammed her jaw up, and
Ugh,
it was probably like high
inflamed.
impact.
They made her go to the hospital, and she was like, "I don't wanna go to the hospital," and Joey's like, "We gotta go to the hospital."
Oh, that's so bad. I felt so bad for her.
Me too, and then they're like, "You're fine," and at that point, you're like, I don't know if I want her jaw to be broken, but, like, that would almost feel more vindicating.
I would have wanted my jaw to be
Same,
broken.
you know what? I'll suck things through a straw for the next 12 weeks, I don't care.
Like, if we showed up at the hospital and this is my last date, it might as well just be broken because I am missing out on valuable time, and it better be not be for nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. Ooh, but I am glad she's okay because she doesn't need a broken jaw for Joey, but still heartbreaking. I
Yeah.
just that sucked.
Yeah, it definitely was a cherry on top of the shit sundae.
And Joey knew it too. Like, I mean, he knows how he feels about it too. So I think he was kind of hoping to have a good day with her and just let it be fun like it usually is with them and then call it a day. And that didn't happen.
And then once they get to dinner, she really kind of opens up about, I know that I haven't been as open as I need to be. And I thought this was interesting. So she finally, I mean, I know she's talked about her past relationships, but has she told Joey that 2 of them in a row ended with infidelity? Because I don't think she has, right?
I don't think so either.
I just thought it was really interesting that she kind of saved that for this moment because in their previous one-on-one date, she talked about, being a nurse and how hard that is, and she didn't really bring up any of her past relationship trauma that I can remember.
Yeah.
Like, we learned about it with her parents, and I think she maybe mentions it casually a couple times, but I thought it was crazy that we're this late in the process, and this is when she chooses to be like, "Hey, I have 2 long-term relationships that ended with me being cheated on, and it really messed with me, and this environment makes it hard for me to open up because of that experience."
Yeah. I will say from a standpoint of just getting to know you, I think the way Rachel did this makes sense to me to like share things about herself, her life, and to not talk about relationships until you're further into a relationship.
Well, in normal life.
Correct. Okay. Right.
Yeah, I totally agree.
And this is not right. Okay. With that caveat, yes, not the time. Because then I think it would have maybe been easier for her to open up to Joey sooner and to
Exactly.
like really explore things without feeling reserved in him, especially with his hang up about potentially not being chosen.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know. And I also think that maybe if she was feeling vulnerable or insecure because of those feelings, if she had already talked to him about it, she could have relied on him for more support.
Yeah, I would agree with that. That's true. And well, yeah, that's why she was feeling so uneasy
Yeah.
just generally.
And then she just cries, and it makes me feel so sad. I
Ah,
don't know. I feel like that was a loaded cry. I feel like she was crying because of her jaw. I feel like she was crying because she feels like she's in third place. I feel like she's crying because she knows she waited too long to open up. I feel like she's crying because of all the things. And it was
yeah.
good that she let herself cry and Joey held her, but that was a complicated cry.
Oh, yeah, and unfortunately, none of that helps her case with Joey. Like, it's
No.
just and it's not fair, right? Because, like, under other circumstances, a partner, that would be, like, a really great bonding moment and a
Yeah.
time to be like, "I understand you better. Let me give you affection, make you feel loved and seen and heard, and
Yeah.
give it to me. I'll hold it for a minute." But instead, it's just sort of like, "Well, this is awkward because I'm not choosing you, and this is only gonna add to the heartbreak. We're just gonna chunk on one more pile, one more thing to the pile that you're gonna have to work through
Yep.
because we don't think it's Rachel."
I mean, I would just be really goddamn surprised if it is.
Me too. Me too. Especially because I don't think he's been as exuberant with Rachel as he was the other two.
The connections are just viscerally obvious. And
Very.
he does care about Rachel. Like, I think they have a very different type of relationship, than he does with Kelsey and Daisy,
I agree completely.
and it's not bad. I would say it's, like, a little bit more playful, it's a little bit more, like, jokey, it's a little bit more bantery, but they just don't have the same chemistry.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a bummer.
Yeah. Anyways, so Kelsey?
What a what a morning after scene. Was all that I took from that. It was just her sitting on the counter and then making out. I was like, well, if she's not it, I'm a monkey's uncle because that
I love
was
that you jumped right to that.
off the charts.
Yeah, it was pretty hot. Can I have her bedhead?
God, her hair. I'm like, I'm gonna grow my hair out. And I know that I'll grow it out and it won't look like that. And I'm like, why did I grow my hair out? But yeah, I feel that too.
Um, what's interesting is a few people are like, "Oh, it's obviously Daisy." And I'm like, "Are these people watching the same show as me? How is it obviously Daisy after seeing the Kelsey date?"
Well, and then Kelsey gets like a casual boat ride. Poor Rachel. Like forced to jump off a platform. And Kelsey and Joey just sail away on the ocean together, casually swim in the ocean.
Well, I mean, they potentially could have done something else after the cenote. We don't really know because she went to
She's
the hospital, but
That's true. Okay. Yeah, I don't know how anybody who you don't have to out them. It's okay. Maybe you can just I can look it up. But like who thinks it's Daisy? Guys, what?
I want to know. I want to know why you think he's picking Daisy. Please DM me.
Yeah, tell us the details because maybe we're missing something.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Do you think it's Daisy because of the note?
Oh, it's never a good feeling when somebody leaves this late in the game. And then it's sort of like, well, would he have chosen her? Or
Yeah.
like there's a lot that gets
I
left
don't
up
want
in
to
the
be
air.
chosen by default.
Yeah. And
That's
so,
not good.
ooh,
Okay, let's start with Kelsey's date. So they're on a boat. We can talk about her hair again because she was like, my hair's crazy.
oh,
And he said that her hair is one of his favorite things. And I
yes.
thought it was adorable.
Okay. I apologize, guys. I'm the person that's supposed to like lay this stuff out for us. We have to go back
Oh.
and talk about
Oh,
Kelsey
Leslie.
talking to Leslie
Yeah, we
because
do.
wow, is that a problem?
And I don't know. Okay, so on the one hand, I do understand the production matched them up because of their mother experiences. And maybe I actually thought that that was really beautiful that they
I did
could.
too. That was really tender and sweet. And I was like, oh man, I love that.
Yeah,
But then Leslie just like took a hard left turn.
a really hard one.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, here we are.
Like so left turn, you just like turned into the fence.
Or like ran into a glass door.
God. Yes. Whoops.
So, but yeah, she's like, I 100% thought it was me, and then it wasn't. So no matter how confident you are, just be prepared that maybe you're not it. Like she said something to that effect.
And what how do you feel about this? Because on the one hand, part of me is like, that's reasonable advice, but like, I don't know if I'd want to hear that from Leslie just because that happened to her. I would want to hear that from like you as my friend,
Yes.
being concerned for my well being, not Leslie operating from a place of heartbreak. And just because that happened to her means that it could happen to Kelsey. And like, I don't know, like she's not wrong, but also wrong audience. I don't know.
Also, do you think the production wanted Leslie to say that?
Probably. I'm sure they were just like, hey, we really need to like throw people off because it's so obvious that it's Kelsey at this point. So let's create some shit. Shaker cage.
I don't know. This again was another reason why I was like, why are we bringing in these women? Why are we doing this? Why are we stirring the pot right now?
Yeah, that was bad. So that just sort of set like the tone for things.
Yeah. But that being said, these two people are so fucking giddy and in love, and the way that they look at each other and the way that they touch each other and the way that they can't stop touching each other. It's like watching two like 14-year-olds. I don't know.
No, truly, like they're really just like so horny for each other. They each think the other one poops rainbows.
Like I feel like Joey legitimately is just so much happier when he's around her.
It's so true. Like when she was looking at him and she was like weighing whether she should say I love you or not, and Joey was like willing her with his eyes. He was like, I know you want to say it, and if you say it to me, I'll say it to you. And they just were like nerds about it. It was the cutest thing.
So dorky, so cute.
Yeah.
She can't fucking stop smiling.
No, they say that like their faces hurt from smiling so much. Yeah. So why do you think it's Daisy?
I honestly don't know if I've ever seen two people look more in love on The Bachelor.
Yeah. Well, that's probably why production told Leslie to do what she did.
Okay, but then what happens?
Kelsey just needs reassurance.
But he gives her the most validation, I feel like.
I know. He's like, I'm falling for you fully.
Like, I can't say I'm in love with you, but I have fully fallen, which is basically the same thing.
Yeah, I'm on the ground. Don't worry.
I have nowhere else to fall. I'm here. I fell.
Boom. And like, I thought that was going to be the end of it. And then we do get to Daisy's date where he's like, I'm falling for you too. I'm like, what are we doing?
Okay.
Well, is there anything else about Kelsey?
I don't think so.
Them making breakfast was very cute. What are they doing in that pan with those eggs? Turn that heat down, put some oil in.
They said they were winging the bacon.
How do you wing bacon? You put it in and you leave it until you flip it, and then it looks crispy and done and you take it out. Joey, learn how to make bacon.
Yeah, it's not that hard.
But they just wanted to make out. They probably didn't even eat that bacon.
They probably burned it a little bit, which is fine. But no, they didn't. It looked actually undercooked.
Ugh, which
Like,
is...
well, it just wasn't crispy. It was still kind of like flaccid.
We don't like flaccid bacon.
Yeah, not a fan.
I'd rather eat slightly burnt bacon than
Same.
slightly flaccid
I was like,
bacon.
if they burned it, it's not a bad thing because burned bacon's still good.
Burned eggs are fine too. Underdone
Ooh.
eggs, not okay.
I don't know about burned eggs.
We'll have to agree to disagree on that one. Can be a point of just in our friendship. That's one way we don't line up.
Okay, so Daisy and Joey. Wait, we have the Sandra moment where she basically. I like Sandra.
I do too. I like all of these women. I really like Leslie. Susan's a joy. Sandra's great, but like this was not the advice to be given on overnights.
I also feel like Daisy kind of took it to heart. She was throwing in little kissy comments, and I feel like she was being a little bit more sexually flirty.
It didn't work for me. And
Well-
that's like, I just didn't buy it. She
Well,
seemed so out of character for
Yeah.
her. And that sucks because I also hate that in order for us to get the attention of a guy, us being women generally, you have to have like a level of sex appeal. And it's like, why? I want to wear clothes that aren't super tight. I want to be smart. I like, why does sexuality? I know that is a component, but I sort of hate that that's like the lure with which to lead people in. Not a fan.
This is just very old school advice.
That's it. Yeah. And the way she said it too, I was like, okay, mom. Thanks. 'Cause you're like running out the door trying to forget that she ever said the word sex.
Yeah, coming from
Ugh.
a woman in her 60s, it doesn't matter if she's your mom or not. It's just kind of like,
I don't know.
like, I know that you have life experience and probably have had a lot of sex, but I don't really need to be given advice about it.
You did not grow up in a time and age and where I want advice on that sort of
Yeah.
thing. Yeah. So Daisy tried to
She tried
work
to
that
make
in.
a little sexy,
Mm-hmm.
which felt awkward.
Awkward.
Yeah.
I'm just going to be real. I struggle to not say like. And I do. And I'm
Same.
working on it.
Same.
And then I listen to Daisy talk and I feel really good about myself.
Same.
I'm so good. Like when people get on to other people for saying like too much, it's probably not me. I hope. Because wow, there was seriously a sentence in there where I swear to God, she had 7 likes and maybe 3 other words. And I think that's just because she was so nervous.
Yeah,
it's a
I don't
tick,
really
right?
remember her doing that as much the rest of the season. I do remember it happening with Kelsey's family. Her whole family said like a lot.
Right. And I think that is something, a nervous tick that people have picked up.
Yeah,
To feel
I
silent.
definitely say it too much.
Oh, 1,000% I do too. And it is because I'm worried that I don't know what my next word is
Yeah,
going to be. So
filler
I'll just
word.
throw in a word that I know that's good. Like. But it was a lot. And
it was a lot.
it really just felt as though Daisy was struggling and she does not feel like she likes Joey that much. Like, I don't know about you, but I don't see the chemistry.
Well, it was during her ITMs when she's supposed to be talking us through where she's at emotionally and how much she wants to be chosen by Joey. And, you know, it was kind of like a pivotal soundbite. And there was just lots of likes.
And not a lot of confirmation on how she feels about her relationship with Joey.
Well, I think that she's in love with the idea of Joey because Joey has helped her navigate something that made her really insecure. So I think she's in love with him in a very specific way. That being said, I don't know if she's in love with Joey in the way that Joey wants her to be.
I love that take. I think that is spot on. I think that Joey probably helped her to see that she is still beautiful and lovable and capable of being in a relationship with the cochlear implant and being deaf. But yeah, she does not love Joey in the way that I feel like Rachel and Kelsey do.
Kind of like how our first love is like imprinted on us for a very specific way because they make you feel emotions you've never felt before. And not saying she hasn't previously been in love, but she survived something that most of us can't understand.
Yeah.
And so the first time you fall in love outside of that experience, it might be kind of similar, right? Where you're feeling all these things, but is this person the right person for you? It's almost like you're not actually even able to pay attention to it.
Right, because you're just so caught up in the limerence and the lust and everything of
Yeah.
just like,
The
I'm
novelty
lovable.
of being in love.
Yes. I think that's actually a very good explanation of how it feels because with Daisy, I don't know. I'm not seeing it. Girlfriend, Really? Joey's your guy?
But he said he's falling for her too, which why did he do that? Is it be
Why
I
did he
mean, and
do
it's hard
that?
to know. They don't always show us the order in which it's filmed. So we don't know if he told Daisy first or Kelsey first, to be fair. But I was like, did production make him say it a second time because he said it to someone else? Ugh. I kind of miss the days where the lead just didn't fucking say it.
That is so smart. Don't say it. Because the other thing is, too, I fully buy and believe that he could be falling for Daisy and in love with Kelsey.
Yeah.
Like, I think that there is capacity in humans to love multiple
Yes.
people. But for you to say it, you're unloading your guilt or your discomfort and like giving it to the other person so that you don't have to hold it when, like, really that's just, if you know that that's not your person, don't say it because that's going to be your thing to work through. Don't make that their problem.
I also think this is the point in the show where at least I just know that if I was the lead for some reason, it would be very clear who I'm picking. Even if I do have feelings for someone else, I'm not confused at who I'm picking. Even though they try to play it off that way,
Mhm.
you know. And Nick has said so many times that you kind of know your top 3 within like the first week of the show.
Oh, I'm
And then you
sure.
pretty much know who you're going to pick very soon afterwards. And it's kind of just rolling through the punches and going with the flow until you end up at the end.
Right.
A lot of this is performative because of the formula of the show. And so maybe there have been leads who have been legitimately confused or conflicted, but I really do think the majority of them know who they're picking by by the middle of the show.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And so that also makes it harder to watch. And then they get off this thing, they're hiding their relationship, and then they watch this, and then he has to justify to his partner like, I wasn't really, but because I told you I was falling in love with you, I had to be falling in love with them to make it interesting. I don't know. Like, that's also
Yeah, the
rough.
show does not do a great job setting couples up to succeed after the fact. It really doesn't, for those very reasons of like Joey can't just tell Kelsey or Daisy who that he loves them because then we're all like, okay, we're good. We don't need to watch the last. We don't need to watch the women tell all.
Yeah, they're definitely making a show, but I don't know. Yeah, the leads used to never even say they were falling in love. And I think it was better that way.
I don't think, did Matt James tell people?
Ooh, I don't remember.
I don't either. That's the like furthest back season I've watched. So
I think Ben Higgins was the first one to tell multiple women he was falling in love with them, and it was a really big deal.
Ben. Well, then Clayton. Never gonna let that go because I can't. Um,
And so then, like, periodically during Daisy's date, we see Kelsey.
losing her
Yeah,
shit.
she's starting to feel really insecure and really taking what Leslie said to heart and feeling like she just needs to talk to Joey. Can I just say, anytime you send someone a text or a message that says we need to talk, it immediately implies that something is not okay. And
Yeah.
if you have done this and if you have not given the person reason to believe that it's fine when it is fine, shame on you because that causes a lot of anxiety.
So much anxiety. And if it's not okay, lie anyway or find a different phrase than we need to
Or
talk.
just wait until they're in front of you and tell them you need to talk.
Yeah. Stop saying that.
I hate that.
Me too.
If I was Joey, I would unravel too. I'd have a panic attack.
Oh,
Probably.
absolutely.
With the amount of stress he's under.
And you know you're not sleeping, you're not
Yeah.
eating well. Like, in no way, shape, or form are you set up to handle disappointment well.
He's already mentally on the edge. They just like poked him over it.
Yeah. And there he goes.
Oh, I hate it.
I do too. Fuck this show sometimes of like the way that it does that to people. It would be, I mean, I don't know. Does anybody even really enjoy that? I don't want to see somebody break down like that. That's hard. That's sad. That's not filling my heart with like hope for love in the future, you know? Like,
So Kelsey was obviously prompted by production to do that.
oh yeah, they're like, well, do you want to talk to him? You should go put a note on his door.
But just say you need to talk.
Yeah, keep it vague. Don't make it a big thing.
Yeah.
Because we want to get that on camera. the talk.
The fake cameras that weren't actually security cameras.
Right? I'm like, did they ask Hotel for that footage? I'd be really uncomfortable.
Also, that was like really high definition security footage.
That's a very good point. I didn't even catch that. Yeah. Yeah.
I was thinking it, and then Juliet commented on it because she's obsessed with production, and I was like, yeah, since when do you get like a full color high res version of security footage?
Never.
I don't know. Okay, so then we have Women Tell All, and then, oh, did you notice there were no scenes from the Women Tell All in the preview?
Yeah. Just like they replayed Sydney and Maria's beef.
But it had to have been filmed, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I was very confused by that. I feel like usually they show scenes from the Tell All.
Okay, listen, one of these days, you and I are going to get tickets to that.
That'd be fun.
And we're going to go. I have heard it's an all-day thing. And so maybe they just don't know how they're editing it all together.
Yeah, I think they filmed for like 8 to 12 hours.
Yeah. Hopefully they let you have snacks. But, like, right? I can't sit that long. But I wonder if just because of the way the season ends, they're kind of waiting to see how they want to piece all the things together.
Yeah, that's a good take. Or they don't know who Bachelorette is yet, and they want to make sure they give her a good edit.
Not Daisy.
Well, Daisy can't be on the tell-all.
Oh, yeah, I know, but I also just need to keep putting it out there.
Okay.
Please, for the love of God, do not let it be Daisy. I do not need. And she supports Trump, whatever. She is Christian. Just like give us somebody interesting.
Okay.
We'll take Abigail. I don't know.
We've just had a lot of Daisy-like bachelorettes. Maybe
Yeah.
that's a better way.
That's a much better way of putting it. Just give us different people.
Yeah, give us someone new to root for. I also, as much as I think Maria would make an amazing bachelorette in the sense that she would bring us great television. That being said, after watching Maria on the season, like, I don't know if she's ready to settle down with anyone.
Well, I don't know if either she's not ready to settle down or she's not really willing to fully immerse herself in the show.
Yeah.
To do this. And yeah, I think the show is so much more fun when people are committed to finding love. And as we discussed previously, Daisy needs more time to figure herself out with her disability. And I don't know what that means for her. Like, she should just be so selfish and not be aiming to get engaged. Maria also just seems like maybe not. Give us Rachel.
I'm worried that it could be Lexi, just because I think her storyline lends itself well, which I don't think that's smart for her, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, I mean, that'll get you speedy results, right? Like, what,
I
12 weeks, you've got a husband,
I
potentially.
personally, I like Rachel, but I don't think she'd make a good lead.
No, she's very self-aware.
Yeah.
And, like, normies don't do well.
You need someone to be a little bit full of themselves.
Who do you want then?
I mean, I would love Jen.
Jen, that's right. Jen would be great.
Yeah, I really like Jen. I don't think we got to know a lot of women outside of, I'm trying to think of who else.
Jen would be really good. You're right. I think everybody else.
Oh, Kelsey T.
Kelsey T.
She would bring the show very different energy, and I feel like she has like a quiet confidence that she could work well as a lead.
I think so too. Yeah.
She also was willing to like show her emotions
and have hard conversations in a way that just, I don't know. Yeah. I would agree with that. I like that. Jen or Kelsey T. Let's do that. No Daisy, please. And thank you. She's lovely. She will do good things in her life. I'm sure she will find the love of her life. I don't need to see it.
I feel the same.
Yeah. But anyway, anything else?
Man, no. What is your guess for what happens?
I don't know. I don't know if Kelsey's gonna like self-evict. I don't know.
I like how you say evict because it's Big Brother.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Self-eliminate.
It's like self-evict.
That does come from Big Brother. I've been listening to the show for Big Brother Canada, even though I'm not watching.
I feel like Kelsey doesn't want to leave. I feel like she just wants validation.
Yeah, I hope that's the case. I don't know.
I'm
It really
so
it surprises me because it does. Well, I don't know. Daisy to me feels like the wild card. Daisy seems like she doesn't really like Joey, but like we talked about, I don't know if she's aware enough to realize that.
Yeah,
And so
I think she's in love with him, but I don't think that she's ready to get engaged to him.
yeah, so maybe something there of like
But that means you're implying that he picked Daisy.
right, and I don't think he picks Daisy.
I'm
So I have no idea why
confused.
Joey is upset.
So
Like,
have you seen any of the spoilers out there? Because I've seen a couple spoilers floating around, but I don't read them.
yeah, there are spoilers, but when I decided to dabble, there was nothing.
I know, and you haven't looked since?
I
Are
haven't
you
looked
committed
since.
to not looking now?
I'm not looking.
Okay.
Mostly, I don't even know why mostly. I'm actually trying to limit the time that I spend on my phone because my phone, for some reason, I broke my phone, had to use an old phone, got a new phone, and now it tells me how much time I spend on it, sort of unprompted, and I'm like, oh my God, get off your phone. Go touch grass. So I'm trying actively to not be sucked down like into the rabbit hole that is my existence online for, just a week or two until I remember to turn that thing off so that I can live in blissful unawareness of the time that I spend on my phone.
Makes sense.
Also, I can't trust myself. I feel really bad. I ruined the end of Golden Bachelor for you.
You did.
I know. It like haunts me because I know how much you like to be surprised. And fuck. So anyway, I'm like, don't ruin it. And I can't trust myself sometimes to not just blurt stuff out. And Saul can edit me, but he can't edit me from you. So
Yeah, I was just wondering because I've seen some spoilers floating around out there, and I didn't know if you had partaken.
oh, there's so many spoilers. The time that I did decide to check the thread on Reddit, it had like hundreds of comments. And then in Zach's season at this point, there were like, I'm not even kidding, like 5. And with these, there's hundreds. And so I was like, wow, something juicy might be happening. But no, nobody knew what was happening because the one thing I do know, the spoiler that was released wasn't true.
Oh, do you know what it was?
Yes, but I can't say.
Can't say. Okay.
And so there's that. But then after that, I've just been like, okay, who knows?
Well, I guess we'll see what happens.
Yeah. I am bummed we have to get through Women's Tell All.
Yeah.
Hopefully something good will happen.
Yeah. No, like, there's no trailer to even make me excited about it. It was stuff I've already seen before.
Yeah.
Like, do I really want to tune in and watch it? I don't know. We can half cover it.
Well, yeah, because I mean, we'll cover this stuff, but then how much does everybody else want to hear about it?
Yeah.
If we're
a
not
lot.
excited, nobody else is. Hopefully,
Also-
Vanderpump will be good and we'll just be able to talk about that.
I mean, it'll be interesting to see if they bring up Paradise. I guess that's the only thing that I'm intrigued by.
And who the next Bachelorette's going to be.
Oh, yeah, but we might not find that out until after the final rose. So I guess we'll find out.
Man. Okay.
Because they can't tell if it's the Bachelorette if there's still 3 women left.
I guess that's true. We had no eliminations this week. They're going to make me wait 2 weeks? Damn.
Because of the note. Shake your fist at the note.
Oh, production does this. Just stringing us along.
Yeah,
I'm here for it.
I guess.
Okay. Well, anything else?
Nope.
Thanks, everybody, for listening. Rate us, review us, give us your feedback. If you have something you want to share with us, email, get in our DMs. We appreciate it. Thanks for
Yeah.
participating in social media this week.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
That's very nice of you.
All right. Love ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Drama Bonded is produced and hosted by Jessica Brumbaugh and Mandy Booth. Our theme music is by Jupiter Daywatch. Graphic designer is Pigeon House. Special thanks to everybody who has downloaded and listened to us. We are so, so grateful for your support. Thank you.